today we're recognising that they're the most fantastically gifted people in terms of literature and poetry and the imagination. And we want to link in with young people in the schools, which Dr. James Cole is doing, in inspiring poetry and creative writing around themes of Percy Shelley and Frankenstein particularly. Link in with history students in the universities and also with creative writing students and with academics who are philosophizing and wrestling with ethical matters raised by Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and have fun.
So for this year, we're creating a story called Shelley's Heart, and it's a location-aware story. And what that means is you walk around the churchyard and look at your mobile phone, and it leads you to different spots that unlock bits of story. So there's 4 different paths that you can follow. Each path follows a different character, and they are all based on historical figures. Mary Shelley, Percy Shelley, Lord Byron, and John Keats.
If you were to physically go on one of the walks that we're putting on, the actual building where Mary's son came and where he was intending for his mother to live is still there. There was a lot of land around it which is now being developed on, but you can actually go and look at the building where she would have lived, and it's quite a important survival, because for so much of the land to be developed there was talk at some time about that house coming down, and it was only when people sort of started to be more interested in the Shelley legacy that people thought, hang on, Bournemouth's got something unique here, so we ought to celebrate it.
A lot of our work is, like a beginner's guide to the Shelley family. So a lot of people in Bournemouth might not know too much about the family and their history. So we're trying to get a new audience in and hopefully spark their interest in it from there on.
On the BA Creative Writing course, we've spent a lot of time looking at existing texts, taking them apart, exploring the stories, seeing how we can then use them in our own writing. And that's something I think that will be really exciting, almost sort of doing what Frankenstein did with the monster, sort of taking bits and pieces from different stories and creating our own. And that's what we've got planned for collaborations with acting students, for example, and a production drawing on the different voices of the writers, but also the different voices of the actors, and piecing together a whole production, which is really exciting.
I think so far the highlight of this experience has been shooting in the churchyard at night, which was really kind of scary and cool and exciting and tiring, but we got some really interesting stuff. We had a monster that's walking through the shadows, and we get these surprising sort of accidents with these long shadow being cast down the path as the monster is approaching, and we're like, oh, let's get that. And we were shooting with the Steadicam and just sort of running around through this amazing environment at night was really exciting.
The Resurrection Chapel here at St Peter's Church is where we want to put our display and exhibit on, which is our main feature, which will actually be here during the festival, that people will be able to come in and have a look at the variety of stuff that the whole family did.
St Peter's Churchyard is a Gothic revival church, so you look around and it looks like something from the Middle Ages. It's got these big iron gates and these tall spires, and the whole place has the feel of being inside a Gothic novel. So what better place to go around and experience this Gothic story about this Gothic writer?
Here I am at the Shelley tomb. This is what loads of people come here to see, and St Peter's Church is in the background behind me. So in the tomb here we have the body of Mary Shelley, the creator of Frankenstein, and we have the heart of her husband, Percy Shelley, the poet. We also have the bodies of Mary Shelley's parents, the political writer William Godwin, and his renowned wife, the feminist writer Mary Wollstonecraft, who published just a few years before she died, giving birth to Mary Shelley, A Vindication of the Rights of Woman in 1792.
Mary Shelley's Frankenstein has been an iconic work. It's been in films throughout the ages, and it just resonates today because It's a true horror in the sense of what it's like to be the outsider.
People relate to someone else who was victimized and became famous, and you might say, who puts up front for all humankind, for all humanity, the victim as a hero. So it's fascinating.
I'd like to see Mary Shelley to have a lot more status than she has had, and also a greater interest in Percy Bysshe Shelley. I think this couple, in a way, we wouldn't be as we are now. I don't think we would be a secular state, if it wasn't for the minds of the Shelleys and people like them, David Hume, John Stuart Mill. We have a lot to owe them, and I think in the way things are going at the moment, their voices have to be very loud and very clear, and this is why I am particularly keen to bring back Mary Shelley's voice and Percy Shelley's voice, because I think they have a lot to say in this day and age.